Hello and welcome to Modern Toyfare News, the weekly show that talks about toys. I am your host, Michael, and with me, as most times, is Jamar_Games. How are you this week, Jamar?
Hey, I'm doing good, and I'm actually excited that you didn't call out immediately in the intro as to why we're recording. Spoilers, a little bit late. So
I don't know what you're talking about. We're recording late? Oh man,
I saw your
it
message, but I
slipped my
didn't
mind.
respond because I
Yeah.
went to bed. So I wonder if you were like, "Oh, he probably thought that was too mean."
No,
So
I didn't think it was too mean. I was building a tree around you to cover you in shade. Um, I was gonna take it a step further and be like, wow, man, you know that other co-host? He shows up on time. He doesn't complain. He gets more views somehow. I'm just like, oof. This is like being Pedro or whatever his name is from Mandalorian and being like, I don't want to wear the helmet anymore and complaining when like his character literally didn't need a face. Like he could have wore the helmet forever and they could have recast him.
true, very true. Wait, so am I the helmet or am I Pedro? I'm just.
I, I feel like Nate's the helmet. He doesn't complain. He just kind of shows up, does his job, and then goes home.
Yes,
So now we've got done with our weekly
got it out of the
banter.
way.
If you are new to the show, the way it works is we break down the weekly news I deemed worthy of the next hour of your life. We go over our weekly purchases, and then we send you on your merry way. So let's get started. We are going to start off like we do most weeks these days with Mcfarlane. However, kind of a not huge news week. There were some things that got like leaked-ish, but we're not going to talk too much about those. The biggest thing was we got official images of the upcoming DC Multiverse Injustice 2 Flash and Grodd. So we've already seen like the glamour shots of them in that weird post-apocalyptic background that they use for everything DC. But these are actual like full HD bright photos so you can see how they look. Right now there's no pre-orders or any sort of like I think they're supposed to come out in March of 2021, I think is what I read, but until there's like official like pre-orders up, I don't want to guarantee anything. Overall, I mean, Flash's head looks kind of wonky, but beyond that, I think they both look great.
Yeah, I mean, I think Grodd would probably look a little bit better, but I think it's just because he's not like a human, and I think they do weird things with humans with McFarlane sometimes. But yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm just gonna go right off the back right now because we had this discussion in the side chat. But I love that McFarlane just gives you a stand with it. You
Yeah.
know, stand.
I mean, there's another company we'll talk about a little later who definitely needs to take up that method and quit being greedy
Yeah,
little bitches.
but these are pretty dope. Yeah.
So just to go over some of the leaks that kind of followed these, because Todd also did a video like he does every week for when he's like talking about new toys, and in the video people picked out things in the background, like apparently there's gonna be a white and silver variant of Injustice 2 Flash. Someone saw that laying down on his table. There's gonna be a silver armor version of Grodd that someone saw in the background of his on one of his tables. I'm trying to think of what else people saw. I feel like there was one other that was kind of something we hadn't actually had announced. I think there was a Bizarro that someone pointed out was like laying down. So there's some more stuff that's clearly in the works and on its way. So if they're doing variants of the Injustice figures, I just pray that we get Reverse Flash. Because literally the only thing they'd need to mold differently is just flip the emblem.
Yeah.
Everything else would just be repaint. So like if you want to get reuse out of your costumes, because Reverse Flash in that game isn't his own character. He's legitimately a skin you unlock for the Flash. He does react a little different to things,
Yeah.
but for the most part it's literally just such color change.
I could see them possibly doing that. But I mean, personally, I wouldn't say get your hopes up in a sense because you're saying like it seems simple, but I feel like the simple thing is always the most difficult.
I don't know. They're doing the white and silver version, so I feel like I
Yeah,
mean,
but it's
hell,
just big.
if we want to talk about simple, they're literally doing the Flashpoint Batman re-released with a sword and Thomas Wayne head. Only difference. So I feel
Yeah.
like that's as easy as you could possibly get at that point next to just doing a repaint.
That's fair.
But yeah,
I guess
so
we'll find out.
I'm
Now,
excited.
do you think those leaks were like plants, or you think it
It's hard to
was that
say.
like really an accent.
Because
You know what I mean?
Todd, it's very hard to tell because he's a very strange individual and seems very scatterbrained. So it could have literally just been he was like going over prototypes in his office and he's like, I need to do an Instagram video for people to see what toys are coming out.
Right.
Or it could have been legitimately him recognizing that, people overanalyze his videos every week and find these things, and he's like, oh, it's a part of the culture now, so I'm just gonna
Right.
lay things
Feed
out
into it.
for people to find in little teasers. So it could literally go either way. It's hard to tell
Right.
just because it's Todd McFarlane and his brain does not work like a normal human being. I'm not sure if he even is human, to be honest. He probably is actually an alien. But like realistically, it could go anyway on that side.
Right. Just curious. You're muted, sir.
Thank you. I just apparently I didn't hit the button hard enough after I coughed. I just hope this opens the door for more Injustice 2 figures because I love that game, and that also could theoretically mean we'd get characters like Hellboy and the Turtles.
I knew you were going there when you said we could get characters and could we?
We could, because technically those characters are in that game.
That's true.
And I mean,
true.
the only thing they'd really have to do is if Warner Brothers has the rights to the merchandising for those characters within that game universe, they're fine.
Right.
Other than that, they might have to jump through some hoops. But I figure it's no difference than if they decide to do, like for the Mortal Kombat line, if they decide to do Arnold and Sylvester Stallone. Since Rambo and Terminator in there, they just have to pay to get the rights to use their faces. But beyond that,
you're making good sense. So don't tease me now. I'd love to get like Turtles, even though I'm always like 50-50 with Mcfarlane. I just want to get Turtles from other manufacturers.
Yeah, I always want Turtles that are something different. I love the Toon Turtles. They're great, but I need something new. Same with movie.
Right.
Like I'm ready for something that's comic book inspired. God damn it.
That'd be cool.
Moving on, though. So last week we got to see a teaser for the Storm Collectibles Golden Axe Death Adder. Well, this week Amazon just put him up for pre-order. $120, ships in July 2021. He includes interchangeable hands, a big-ass axe, and stands roughly at 10 inches tall of all his half-naked glory. Speaking of half-naked men, though, all you wrestling fans are going to be excited about this next one. Storm Collectibles showed off the new Jushin Thunder Liger variant that got announced this week. And from what I can tell, it looks like it's just a different mask than the first release and maybe a different cape. Beyond that, I'm pretty sure the main body looks like it's the same red and white. But if I'm wrong, put in the comments below, because I've seen the other 2 or 3 variants, so I vaguely remember them. But who knows? They've been coming out for the past couple of years since he retired. Right now, though, he is currently available for order overseas. So we will have to wait and see if he makes it over here to the States, or if maybe like Ringside works out a deal where they order a bunch, but you have to pay a little extra because of, overseas shipping and all that fun stuff. But I guess stay tuned.
We'll have the news, right? Well, you'll have it, and I'll just be here reacting to it.
Yeah, you'll just be here
it looks so
criticizing
cool,
how I do my job.
I love the cape. Like, I love the cape.
Oh, the sparkly cape?
Yeah, I need that in my life. But probably not for what they want. But
you don't want to pay $80 for a cape? That's ridiculous.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, the Death Adder, seeing more pictures of him, it's pretty much the same as I expected from seeing the teaser image. I will say this, though. It looks like they're kind of using one of those seamless bodies, because I don't see any articulation in the elbows or knees, but clearly they're bending in some of the pictures, which is kind of mildly upsetting because those bodies creep me out.
They creep you out? What?
I'm sure we had a whole conversation about it back when we talked about the Keaton Batman stuff, and just the idea of this like weird fleshy Armstrong, what was it, Stretch Armstrong style, like skin over a wire body that you articulate. Like it just creeps me out a little bit.
God, I think it looks perfect though with this figure, just because you don't see any joints.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's also kind of weird though. The one photo with him like standing next to another character that you can see the seams,
mm-hmm.
so it looks a little
Yeah,
jarring.
it's definitely a weird choice to do when you have the main character of Golden Axe being a normal action figure with those articulation lines and cuts, and then you're just like, nah, he's a big beefy motherfucker. We want to see all them folds when you
All the
bend him.
veins, all the muscles.
Um,
Yeah, but I mean, on top of that, though, it is a larger figure, so maybe molding wise and purposes, it work better for it.
I don't know what would be more expensive. I assume the seamless bodies are more expensive because less companies
No, I
do
meant
them.
like it just works better for that size, and that's what I'm sure they test these things, right? Imagine so.
I mean, someone somewhere gets paid to test them, I imagine, because
Yeah,
prototypes. But I can't
yeah.
imagine once you spend a bunch of money to go a certain direction, you're gonna scrap that prototype completely and go to a different direction. So, because I don't know, like I feel like that would be a bad business decision. Like, yeah, let's try out that seamless body. Let's see how that turns out, and then you spend all this money doing a prototype, and then you get it in hand, and you're like, ooh, this is bad. Let's go and
Wait a minute.
scrap this and start over from scratch and go back to the old.
This is exactly why it costs $120
because they have to keep process of elimination until they decide what they want to do.
100%, right?
I mean, in your defense, he doesn't come with a lot of accessories, though he is 10 inches tall.
Yeah.
So I mean, you get this giant fleshy man, but you only get like a big ass axe and some hands. So
Which that's all he needs, though.
yeah, I mean, I can't imagine when his face is blacked out like that. There was a whole lot you could do with interchangeable faces.
This is the daytime. No, all right. It was an awful joke.
Okay, I'm just gonna move on from this before we.
Please do. For anyone who recognizes what I said.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. So Neca seems to have accidentally announced 2 new figures. Well, maybe not accidentally. Maybe it was on purpose. Who knows? Via their 12 days of downloads for Christmas checklists that they've been putting up of all their different lines. First, we did get a look at the new Brady twins Toony Terror figures, followed by the Ultimate Audition Marty McFly from the Back to the Future movie line. Obviously, since these were just revealed on their like checklist calendar things, we don't have any dates or pre-orders or anything yet. I have to assume at some point in the near future they're going to be like, hey, here's legitimate photos of them, because I feel like that's something kind of mildly big to let slip through the cracks of we're going to release this checklist before we announce a figure or before we're even ready to come close to announce a figure, right?
Yeah, I mean, they do what they want, though.
True. But that's not all we got this week from Neca. We also got, well, not really announced, but more so final shots of the fully boxed Looney Bin Shady Acres Ace Ventura from their 8-inch clothed line of figures that are kind of like that Mego style. And I mean, all I can say is, alrighty then. Because he is slated to somehow release within the next 2 weeks, because he's listed as end of the month.
Wow.
And I can't imagine a new action figure coming out a week before the new year. But as we'll talk about later, that clearly means absolutely nothing nowadays.
Now, this is you said their 8-inch line.
Yes.
So these are like the
Scream figure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, because those typically are, I mean, I say typically because when I go at places, shop and whatnot, I always see like those on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
So are these just, maybe they just like, what the hell with it, just put it out, because it's gonna be there.
My guess is it's probably like most of the different variations that they have of their different lines they run, that line probably has a very specific crowd that loves those figures.
Right.
So if they get property, it doesn't take a lot to make those figures, because aside from the soft goods and a head, you can reuse just about every body that you've got, because it's essentially a more articulated Ken doll, just a little shorter, to be honest. Like,
I love that that's like our reference now. Ken dolls.
Ken dolls. Ken dolls everywhere.
Yeah.
So I imagine it's probably a little cheaper to produce, so they can pump those out quicker than they would if they just straight up went into the Ultimates line with an Ace Ventura figure.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. I'm still like down for the Toon one. Like I know it's completely obviously two separate lines, but that's what I like. I just like the more animated style of that. But
I mostly like it just because I feel like the Toon one represents him as a whole, where this one's just that specific scene.
right, right.
Like I feel like if this was the normal, like fancy color
Oh, with
shirt
the
and
yeah,
the shorts and
yeah,
stuff, that like that would probably be a little more persuasive. But him at the Shady Acres, like doing the weird dances and animal calls and shit in the yard, I feel like while that's a great scene, it's not something where I'm like, that's the figure I
unless you're
want.
like a fan. Yeah, unless you're just like the major fan.
Like if,
But I
but
do have
at
to
that point
call
you're
out.
probably gonna buy them all. Like you'd buy like
Right, right.
Ace Venturas, like they do the like all sorts of different ones, and you buy them all at that point. Versus like this is the first one in the line. I feel like is this an odd choice?
That's true. That's true. Outside of like everything else, like we're confused by, Neca just does such a great job with faces, man. Like, it just looks so good. It's just crazy to me. Like I don't know. I just think it looks really great. So, just more excitement for the Homelander. Let's see.
Anyway, moving on. For all of the Dragon Ball Z fans out there, we are finally completing the Ginyu Force as Tamashii Nations puts up pre-orders for the SH Figuarts, Burter, and Guldo, and they come together. By the way, they're not separate. They're $90 and ship in 2021 from the Premium Bandai site. They will be exclusive, so that's gonna be the only place that you're gonna be able to get them for retail price. Big Bad Toy Store will probably have them, but they will have a bit of a markup because they have to pay that same retail price. Also, want to be sure to note, Guldo seems to come with interchangeable arms, so you can do different poses with him. He's not stuck in the one pose, which is kind of a cool little addition. It still sucks he's not articulated, but I get it. Like, I'm sorry if I don't care how much of a Dragon Ball Z fan you are. When you're recreating things on your shelves, I feel like Guldo is not the character you're gonna go to and be like, I'm gonna have him fighting in fancy poses.
Plus, I mean, it makes sense too that he's like almost an accessory, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, it's obviously
I
makes
mean,
sense
it's
when
it's
they come
very
together.
rude for them to be like small people or accessories. Um,
Not that, but because
but
he's
like I
probably
get,
small enough to not charge. You
yeah.
know, for
There's no
so.
also the for what they'd have to charge to make him articulated, like properly articulated to like make a figure at that size in that shape. Would anyone really want to pay $60 for a Goldo?
Right, right.
Like really? Like I
I
mean,
think the way they did this is it makes
yeah, I
sense.
feel like it's the
It's
best option because I mean he's technically shorter than Kid Gohan at that time,
mhm.
so trying to make a figure even tinier than that one, I just feel like it's gonna either turn out like shit or it's gonna be a really expensive figure for what you're getting, and you're gonna be butthurt either way.
I mean, they could just ask, uh, ask Disney or I guess Marvel, if you will, about no, not Marvel, but Disney, how they do their Black Series and charge $10 or so for a Yoda that's like, or not a Yoda. We know a name now, a Grogu that's like this big, this big.
Yeah,
Whatever, that's all good.
someone's clearly a little butthurt. Um,
I love it. I love it, but
I yeah, I'm excited that they're finishing up the Ginyu Force.
yeah,
I'm still like, I like the made to order model where you get X amount of time to pre-order it. Like that's cool and all, so it's not like something that's crazy hard to get. However, figure arts, unless it's like con exclusive, has never really been something where you have to worry like, oh no, am I going to be able to get this figure? Usually they're pretty readily available at all e-retailers. So like, at least for the first like 4 to 6 months, like it's not something where they're like instantly hard to find. So it's kind of like I get why they're doing it because they didn't want to invest a bunch of money in people like
yeah.
who in the people who are outspoken saying they want these side characters not being a very large margin of money for them. But I don't know. It's kind of, at least we're getting them. I hope that they continue doing this and giving us more like side characters maybe through this route, since they clearly don't want to do them in the main line. But I guess we'll have to wait and see.
If you could choose, who would you have? Who would you have up next? If you
Ooh.
just your fantasy like side
If I'm
character.
fantasy booking like the next character for them to put on the Premium Bandai site, I feel like it. See, it's hard because some of them I feel like are important enough that they'd make it to the main line, but at the same time, it's like a gray area where they might not. I feel like if I had to choose one, it'd be Form 2 Frieza, the big tall version. Um,
Makes sense.
that would be
That
my.
also makes sense why it would be like done this way too, though.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But my only concern is first form Frieza with the space pod's a normal release.
Ah,
So like if that's a normal release, why would the other forms of Frieza? Frieza's clearly that important of a character that like people would
right.
want all three form or all five forms or however many forms he has. Um, I feel like it's four and then gold Frieza from Super makes it five.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I had to choose like a really like niche character though, oh man.
I don't know why I asked you the question because I can't even think of anything.
Well, the hard it's
But
just hard because there's like their idea of like what characters are important and what ones aren't is so strange to me. Because Ginyu Force to me that was a huge fucking get. Like they were super popular. They were a whole pretty much arc during the Frieza saga, but then they put single releases out of Tien Yamcha,
yeah, that's true.
who like literally after the Frieza saga became worthless. They literally were
Right.
cannon fodder. Like Tien got the one up on Cell like once. Like I mean, these guys were dudes who just stood around while Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, and Trunks did all the work. I mean, they're
Right.
little. Tien's at least redeemed himself a little bit and is a little more important. Super Yamcha's still kind of a bitch, and they kind of basically use him as the like punchline. Um, but like if those two characters outrank the Ginyu Force, I'm just like, what? I don't know what it could
Yeah.
be
What are
then.
they? Who's making
Um,
decisions?
oh man, I wouldn't mind seeing maybe. I feel like this one would have to make it to the main line, but I want a Kid Buu. They haven't done that yet.
Oh, that's surprising.
They've done Super Boo and they've done Fat Boo. I wouldn't mind Evil Boo, the skinny gray version. Um, trying to think. I mean, if we want to go super deep of something
Two.
that would probably like, there's a large group of fans that want it, but there's a larger group of fans that hate it. I want Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and Goku
Oh, wait, but okay,
from
yeah,
from
I'm into
GT because
that.
GT is like
Yeah,
universally looked down upon. Like if you like
yeah,
GT, people think you have the IQ of a peanut. Um, and while I recognize GT had 1,001 flaws and was not a genuinely good show, Super Saiyan 4 was the coolest fucking
I was about to
transformation
say
they ever
they're
did.
like dope. Though. Yeah,
Like, and the fact that they just like abandoned that to do this god shit is kind of disappointing. Like, really, you went from this badass like bringing it full circle to the fact that they're monkeys at their fucking core to oh, I just want to paint their hair red or blue. Like, it's
I,
a,
I clearly triggered you.
oh yeah, I'm a little salty about the treatment of Super Saiyan 4. Like I feel like it didn't get the love it deserved. And the worst part is they had prototypes made of Goku in Super Saiyan 4 years ago, and they just were never seen again.
Someone put the pillow over their face. Oh no, that's probably
Oh
not.
man,
In a fun way. In
yeah,
a fun way.
fun way.
Sleepover.
Yeah. Beyond that, all the other things I really want are things that I feel like they'll eventually do in the main line. Like I'd love to get season 1 Goku where his like his shirt's ripped and he's not wearing his
Oh
boots
yeah,
or his blue like any of his weighted clothing for when he's fighting Raditz.
yeah.
I'd love to get battle damaged Piccolo. Like there's so many figures I want, but I feel like they're things that it'll take years, but we'll get them in the main line. I guess if we're doing like Frieza Saga people, I wouldn't mind having like Zarbon and Dodoro
I feel
or
like
Dodoru,
yeah.
however his name's pronounced. I can't remember.
Starbound, I feel like is like on the same level of something that's just like probably not going to be in a main line.
Yeah, I feel like yeah he's very niche too. So I feel like those two would probably be good choices for the next one. So you can round out the Frieza Force because I mean, you're like, oh, we're gonna do the Ginyu Force, but fuck his like right and left hand man.
That's right. Oh, we'll have to find out. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. Hopefully. I mean, eventually.
2025.
So now that we've wasted like 15 minutes of me just fantasy booking Figuarts, we're going to round out the news for the week with some Hasbro announcements. We got new Star Wars Black Series figures from the main line. We got the new Bo-Katan from The Mandalorian, not the Clone Wars version. And from the Archive line, which is all pretty much re-releases, we are getting a Tusken Raider, a Shorrit Trooper, and a Imperial Hover Tank Driver and Imperial Death Trooper. These are all available for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store for $19.99 each and ship spring of 2021. I know a lot of people hate the Archive line, at least like the collectors who are more concerned with rarity and like I've got something because I invested early in this. Hate the Archive line because it's re-releasing their figures, and it's very rarely a situation where they're improving on them. It usually is literally just a re-release. So I know this line is not very popular, but at least this time they're using it primarily as army builders.
Right.
I mean, these also look a little more improved, but for the most part, it's not like any like characters are like, oh my god, this character's worth all this money. I can't believe they did that, kind of thing.
I feel like I just need a Tusken Raider though. I mean, obviously I wasn't collecting stuff back then, but that kind of be cool to have.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's out of all of this announcement, that's the only thing that I'd be like, oh,
yeah, I mean,
cool.
the troopers are pretty much just like take them or leave them. They're things that if you're someone who wants to build your Imperial forces, they're great.
Right.
But otherwise, like they're not like a must-have. I do agree the Tusken Raider, out of all these, Tusken Raider looks the best. Like,
Yeah.
I can't remember the original version of the figure, so I don't know if it's been improved a lot, but it looks really good, and I have to assume that that's going to be an improvement because there's no way that figure from years ago looked this good.
That'd be cool to keep an eye out for. How do you feel about Bo-Katan, like the Mandalorian obviously version? Like something about like I don't know. I think the molding, like seeing the toy is bringing out more. I don't know if I love the design of the character. It sounds like it's being mean.
No, I know what you're trying to say. Her visually, she's very wonky looking as a person, is what you're trying to get across. I feel like it's the haircut. I feel like for whatever reason they gave her like this weird, like kind of like bob cut thing in the show, and they obviously wanted to be as close and true to that as possible because her being in this series was very fan servicey. It may not have been 100% the intention, but they're trying to bring in these characters from the animated universe and make them a part of the main canon. Not that they weren't before, but they're trying to make it you know, so it's a part of the live action canon. And it's kind of hard to do that transition from animation to that because 9 times out of 10, you're not animating these things to look like a certain person. So trying to make a person look like that, it's not always gonna turn out the greatest. Like when she took her helmet off, I was just like, ooh. That's a style choice.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I guess it's a case of. I think it's just a case of like not everyone can rock every haircut.
True.
That's honestly what I feel about it. Is I feel like that actress, that haircut just doesn't work on her. It's nothing against her. It's just literally like if you gave me like long hippie hair, I'd probably look weird too. Like. Not everyone can rock everything, so
I'd love to see that, Mike.
I'm sure you would.
Yeah, that's all I have for that.
Okay, well.
Nitpicky.
But that's it then. We're gonna end the news on that. But I mean, I feel like I'm hearing something, and it kind of sounds like Turtle Watch 2020's back.
Oh, it's like my headset. I can't hear anything. No, I'm joking. I knew what you were doing.
Oh man. So it's not a very large Turtle Watch, but I feel like it was at least worthy of bringing the segment back because it's been a rough couple weeks. So after being delayed until 2021, the Ultimate Krang and the Baxter Stockman and Splinter 2-pack have started showing up on shelves 2 weeks before Christmas. at Targets, while hunting 2 weeks before Christmas in a pandemic sounds like an absolute nightmare. Randy Claus is here and was nice enough to seemingly triple the amount of figures hitting stores, as eyewitnesses are finding 6 or more of Krang and the 2-packs on shelves. Total Toy Recon on Instagram was nice enough to actually gather all the DCPI numbers for Krang, Baxter Stockman, and Splinter, Vern and Rat King, and the Disguise 4-pack that have all had their price tags leaked over the past month. So that way you can take those in. I will tell you right now, they do not work on Brickseek, Popfinder, or Target.com. However, people are claiming if you give that DCPI number to the Target employees, these do now show in stock or out of stock. They no longer are like that incognito, like, it says out of stock, but if you go back, it's clearly back there kind of thing. I personally still don't trust it just because fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I don't bring the DCPI numbers with me. I went in. When I found Krang, he was just on the shelf. And when I got Splinter and spoiler alert for 5 minutes from now. When I found Splinter and Stockman, I walked in. I was looking around. Good old Target guy from 6 months ago came up to me. He was like, "Hey man, how's it going? Been a while." And he went back, looked. 5 minutes later, he comes out. He's like, "Is this the one?" And I'm like, "Merry fucking Christmas to me." So I'm sticking with the old method for now until we see some solid proof, because the fact that these don't show up on Popfinder or Target's website or Brickseek concerns the hell out of me and doesn't make me trust that they actually show up in people's inventories at Targets.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't trust it. And I mean, we should also just remind everyone, just be nice to your Target, employees.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like,
yeah,
a brief story time. Like, obviously, I could save it for weekly purchases, but I'll say it now. When Krang first started showing up, since I'm technically on the West Coast and that's where he was showing up, I've been at Target every other day since then. And the one day I went, regular Target guy who used to always find them for me was super crazy busy. He had no employees back there with him in the electronics, and there was a line of 4 of us waiting for different things. Mostly other people probably wanted, do you have any chargers? And I'm like, I want a toy. And he called for backup, and unfortunately I was next in line from the lady who was pretty much being extremely extra and causing him a headache that he didn't need because it wasn't his problem at all. So girl from a different department showed up, and this is the girl who the very first time I went looking for turtles at this Target told me I was wrong and that if it's not in the inventory they don't have it. So instantly I'm like, fuck me.
You're like, no.
So I was still play with her, but I showed her the picture and she started pulling out the little handheld thing. I'm like, it's not in your system. It's a NECA product. It's either in a box back there or it's not. It's not going to be something that you can pull up and get a yes or answer from your thing. If you're too busy and you want to help the other people, that's fine. I'm in no hurry. I can wait for him to finish with her because he normally goes back and looks for me and finds them. She was a little taken back, but then she's like, "Oh no, I'll just go ask him where they'd be then." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." That's cool. I wasn't overtly mean or anything. I was just like, you've already kind of shown me you don't want to do this, so I'm gonna give you this out because I'd rather potentially find him than you tell me no, and then I walk away and wait for you to leave so I can come back to talk to him and take even longer.
Then it'll be really awkward.
But yeah, so just be nice. I mean, I've rekindled an old relationship with a Target employee who found me all my other turtles. So
that's the true goal right there. That's what NECA brings you happiness from your toys, but also happiness from your Target relationships.
They do. NECA toys last for a little bit until they break, but those Target relationships last forever.
At least until a new NECA toys come out.
Yes. Even when they're delayed and show up randomly at the end of the year.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So, well, go ahead. as.
I don't know what you want me to move to the next story, or you have no opinions on them showing
Oh
up on.
no, okay, well, because I was gonna just talk about how great you were for getting me one, but I figured I would talk about that at like.
I mean, we could talk about the repurchase. We've already kind of blown that load with me saying that I
You're
got
like, no,
all
please just
three.
tell me
But
how
yes,
great I am.
praise me. Give me the praise that the fans do not.
Well, before I give you the praise, I do have to like definitely give after be nice to Target people. Um, I feel like even though this is kind of like a messy situation of like how these were released, um, if you said like how much you like, how am I trying to say this? The amount of inventory that you saw
Mm-hmm.
is actually kind of cool because they are really sticking to their words from the horrendous situation we had
Oh yeah.
earlier this year, and then it followed up with like Metalhead being like, I remember when I was looking again, there was like 6 or 7 or so like on the shelf, and they were this was after they made that statement like, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to try and do better to get more out, and it seems that they really are, which that's kind of a positive thing, I would say, in that sense.
Oh
Although
yeah.
they're just like, no, these aren't coming out this year. Okay, actually, yeah, they are. Go look for them now. So that's
Yeah, like it sucks that it was a surprise drop 2 weeks before Christmas, but at the same
yeah,
time, like at least they stuck to their word from the shit show that they caused during the summer. Like the
yeah,
fact that they are correcting course and they want collectors to get these. They aren't concerned with the value of them in the third party market or anything like that. They want the people who want these on their shelves, who want to enjoy them, to have them, which is great. I'm sorry if you're someone who's like, I like the turtles because they're hard to find, they're expensive. That sucks, but unfortunately, there's more people who would rather have them. Um,
yeah. So
so,
I appreciate that. Now I'll say you're a great person for picking it up for me this time. I
oh
appreciate
yes,
it.
literally, I walked back there. I grabbed the basket at the front because I was like, I'm not carrying three of these. Like trying to like finagle them at the self checkout. Some, just walking on back there like a little Red Riding Hood with the basket. All like, is this gonna be good or bad? And then I come around the corner and I'm like, holy shit, there's 6 Krangs. So like I rush over the shelf and I'm just like looking, opening each one so I can see which ones have the best paint ass, because we all know that NECA's like a 50-50 shot sometimes with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and of course, then I hit you and Wes up and then rung out and came home. But yeah, so it sucks that it was a surprise drop, but I'm just happy that the numbers were so high that it wasn't something where I was like struggling
Yeah.
to find it, where I got there and they only had two, but I needed three because there's three of us, kind of thing. Like
Right.
it
Then
kind
you
of
got to
takes.
choose who you love more, and it's a lot.
I mean, let's be honest. If it would have came down to that, I would have had to choose you, or you would have told me I was like racist or something. So Wes would have been SOL. Um,
I thought you'd say you just buy the two and then sell the other one and be like, yeah, they only had one, guys.
no, I'd wait until I came back to Ohio, and then I'd throw it on the middle of the ground and break a pole stick in half and throw it down. But like, there's only one, boys, fight for it. Um,
Oh God.
but so on to a more serious story. This one's a little more concerning, and I just have to ask: have you seen this man? He was last seen tweeting at angry and sometimes not so angry toy nerds on Twitter back in early November. But for real, like, where's Randy? He's been MIA for about a month now, and it's a little concerning, especially with like this happening. Like usually, if there's
Right.
any sort of turtle situation, he's on Twitter, either arguing with people with sassy comebacks or explaining a situation or trying to explain a situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if like he finally tapped out and was like, I can't handle the aggressive fandom anymore, or maybe he's busy making toys, or maybe someone stepped in and was like, listen, you seem to be getting a little agitated when you're responding to people, so we're gonna take you off the Twitter. But at that point, you'd assume that they would just put like one of the people from the Instagram, because the Instagram is still active. It still posts regularly. I mean, it's clearly just someone who like is a promotional like marketing person. Like it's not like anyone
Yeah.
with who like
A
fully
personality.
interacts like Randy does. Like Randy interacts with the fans as if they're like his friends who are really mean to him. Where Instagram is just like, here's this picture, and then people ask and they're just like, oh, you can email us at this or that, and it's just like almost like the auto response you'd get from a customer service
Yeah.
like robot. Um, so like I'm
Maybe
very
he's
I'm very
I
concerned.
was maybe he's just on holiday, you know?
True, but I mean, holiday for a month? Like he hasn't. It's
I
been since like
mean,
early November, I believe, since the last time he tweeted anything.
yeah,
Because
I guess that's true.
because I went and checked because I was curious. I'm like, see if he like had been. Cause usually he'll even retweet when people find things, like when people show the
Yeah.
positive side to NECA collecting. Like I found Krang, I found Splinter, blah blah blah. I mean, hell, I tagged them in all my NECA turtle tweets just in hopes that maybe they'll retweet our stuff. So like.
Right.
I just wanted to see like if there was any active, and there was nothing. Like the last thing was like some horror stuff from a month ago, and I'm like, is Randy okay? Should we be concerned? Like, I mean, it could just be maybe he has some personal things going on in his life, and
True.
he
True.
doesn't have time for it. But
The world is crazy enough,
it's
so maybe
just
he's
it's just very kind of surprising that someone who like may have been the only person who tweeted more than our president this year was not active for a month. Like, it
yeah.
kind of caught me off guard.
For as much shit as he gets, and we've given him shit,
Oh yeah.
I would definitely not want him to not be, online or like at least
Oh
tweeting
yeah,
and
like
whatnot.
as much as we talked about like him and his dickish responses, I feel like he's takes things a little too personal at times, and some people are way too mean to him at times, and
Right.
make it too personal. I feel like he at least talks to people like a person and tries to explain things to their best like thing versus like for instance like their Instagram version where it literally feels like you're talking to a customer service robot or someone who's reading off a script.
Hmm.
So like as much as we give him shit for getting angry with people when they take things too far or even when they don't take things very far at all, um, I feel like I'd rather put up with that to have that personal touch that he does give because
Hmm.
we've both praised him and shit on him in the show. So like
Yeah.
there's no calling us out on being hypocrites because we called ourselves out and we're like, hey, we want to praise you because you fucking stuck to your word. So suck
Yeah.
it. Um,
We're normally positive after we found what we were looking
Yeah,
for.
like, well, no, I feel like we were negative even after we found what we were looking for. So I don't know what
That's
you're talking
true.
about. I feel like there was still several toy like turtle watches where we were like, "Fucking NECA, man," even after we got our toys. But it was more so like once they started taking the steps in the right direction with the like online pre-orders and the made to pre-orders and stuff, we were
Right.
like, okay, they're trying, they're making progress. Um, they're at least recognizing that there is a problem versus just being like sucks to suck kid, we got our money, fuck off.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Right.
So it does show that Randy and the NECA team do give a shit about their fans and their community, and that's a great thing. So I do hope that Randy is okay. I hope that maybe it is just like he's tired of dealing with people, or maybe he's just busy working on the Disguise 4-pack.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll have
Maybe
to
he's
wait and see.
in the factory himself, helping put together Tuck and Razar.
I mean, well, at that point,
Getting
he
those-
doesn't want to be in the factory with that because right now they're getting some shit thrown at their way because some people's are coming either with incorrect parts or like broken
Oh no,
parts or missing parts.
that could be him. He doesn't
Um,
have much experience with this.
and essentially NECA customer service is like this was made to order. We don't
Right.
have anything to replace, which I think is complete bullshit. Like, I'm sorry, you didn't think to order like an extra couple hundred in case you had some fucking defects. Like, what kind of business model is that?
Wow.
Like even
And here comes the negativity because
um,
that's some bullshit,
like
dude.
it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, I get where you're coming from. Where like, oh, this is a limited run, so we can't do anything for you, but offer you like like so they offered the guy like a $15 refund on a $90 after shipping figure.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, even Mezco, who like literally probably 50% of their shit they do nowadays is limited run,
Right.
keep X amount back. So that way, if you are like, oh, I got mine and his leg was completely disconnected and broken off, they can ship you a new one and have you ship the old one back. Like, it just seems very irresponsible.
Surprising.
Like, so
Yeah, very.
like he does not want to be a part of that manufacturing thing right now with the shit show they're getting.
Oh God.
I
So
do.
is this? Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, you first.
I was just gonna say, is this gonna bring up a new segment for us now? Randy Watch 2021.
It might have to. I like that idea. I might make a new graphic.
Randy
It'll
Watch
just be his
2021.
face. Randy Watch 2021. Wait for him to make his grand return. Um,
Yeah.
So there's something I do want to say on here because I'm hoping someone can help me. So in one of the Facebook groups I'm in, someone shared the screenshot of someone whose Toka, however it's pronounced, his eyebrow is completely missing. Like, so you have the adjustable eyebrows.
Oh,
It's completely missing, so it's literally just one eyebrow and then a hole in his head. And he's the one who got offered the $15 refund from Neca. So I commented because I've got a second set coming, and one of them I honestly don't even really want them because they're Token Razzar. I wanted to make a like movie inspired slash. So realistically, I'd probably have to remove the eyebrows to like finagle a mask to begin with. So I was like, assuming mine come complete, I'm willing to help this guy out and just do a swap for the Toka figure. He sends me the one missing the eyebrow, and I send him one that's good. And a guy like claimed that he reached out to him and that he was going to message me, but it's been a week and I haven't heard anything. So if you are out there or know who this guy is, hit us up because I'd love to help him out. But unfortunately, every screenshot I've seen of his post, they cropped out his name and what group he's in. So I have no way of hunting him down, and the only guy who tried to help me, instead of giving me his information, gave that guy my information, and now it's a waiting game to see, is he going to hit me up, is he not? Like, so
get this man a figure with an eyebrow,
right? Like, I'm just trying, like, I was gonna pop them eyebrows up anyways, so yeah, that's gonna be the irony, is I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and then both sets are gonna have no eyebrows.
Right.
And before I get any comments being like, oh, you were trying to buy another one to scalp. No, I bought another one because this asshole was like, oh, I don't want it. And I was being prepared for when it gets in hand. And he inevitably is like, oh, man, I'm so mad I missed out. I can't justify $200 for this. So this wasn't I'm buying it to get some money back. This was I was buying it to make sure when Jamar changes his mind that I had an extra set ready.
So we're on that level now that like we go out to eat and I'm like, nah, I don't want a fry, but you get a large fry because you know I'm gonna want.
Yeah, you've become my YouTube wife.
Oh God, oh no.
Yeah, explain that one to your wife.
No. Oh God. Is there an end button to this?
No. Only on my side. But that's it for the news and the Turtle Watch. So we're going to move on to some weekly purchases. I've already given away some of mine. Do you have anything this week?
No,
aside from what's in the mail waiting for you.
What's in the mail? That's what I have. I've been trying not to buy things. We really haven't had an opportunity because I've been at work all day, or all week. So, but yeah, I don't have anything. Nothing showed up. I was really hoping to have my. I hate saying the name, Nindororoy Ellie, but it looks like I'm going to be, doing the same thing as my Spider-Man Enter Spider-Verse Mafex toy because it is December and there's like 2 weeks left.
Hey, I mean, Ace Ventura is supposed to come out within those next 2 weeks, so you never know.
Yeah, but my Ellie is it said shipping in December, so the clock is counting down.
Well, you still have 13 more days before they're late.
We'll see. But yeah, other than that, I'm flying empty right now, just waiting on the shipping.
That's understandable. I can't blame you there. I mean, at this point, your Krang is in God's hands, so we'll see if it arrives. I've had a pretty big week since last Friday. Like, I've had a lot of shit just show up, and then obviously the turtle nonsense happened. And then I found shit while I was getting the turtles. So I guess we'll start with the turtle stuff since we already kind of spoiled that.
Okay. Give it to us.
First, I've got Big Boy Krang. And if you want a closer look at that, there is already a review up on the channel. So make sure to go there and also like and subscribe so you can see these guys on next week's review. And that is the... I almost called him Shredder. Splinter and Baxter Stockman 2-pack. And I'm going to be completely honest, I was going to trade or sell Baxter because I'm not a huge Baxter Stockman fan. But my God, after opening it and seeing him, he just looks so look at him. He's so adorable. Look at him in his little sweater vest and his bow tie. And look at those eyes. Like, how can I be like, I'm going to sell you for like $25 on the internet? Like, that's just, I just feel dirty. Like, so now he's staying. He's staying with me. So there's that. And Splinter, like, he's turned out a lot better than I expected. So make sure next week to check out the review of them too. What else did we get? Oh, let's do the stuff that I found while I was at Target looking for these. So when I was looking for Krang, I came across the Jurassic World. What is it? The Amber Collection, the Raptor. So I talked about a few months ago that they were doing this one and they did blue, and I wanted to get this one solely because I like the ones from the first movie better, where they're like kind of tannish and brown and look like what we thought dinosaurs looked like before we found out they were just big chickens. So I've got now 3 of these guys, so I'm gonna have some fun with those. And then today, while I was waiting for the very nice Target guy to go and get my Splinter out of the back, I found the next wave of Gundam figures. And I try to only collect the Gundam Wing figures because that's the one from my childhood that I love so much. So I've got the Endless Waltz version of Gundam Wing Zero. So I was pretty excited and also sad because I was like, oh, my wallet. Oh, my existence. Because I literally got Krang 2 days ago and then Splinter and Baxter today. And I was like, oh, this hurts so bad. Last thing I got, this came in last week. I actually pre-ordered this 3 or 4 weeks ago. Mezco did their Gomez Ninja in red. It's the Crimson Clan. I personally hate the Gomez character, so I only bought it because I wanted a ninja. But then they also put up, and it was in stock and like shipped in like 2 days and got here, the alternate heads for it that you can get. And I have a now just normal all red masked ninja. So that's the fact that I was able to get like a masked ninja head just made it so like, okay, this figure is legit now. It did come with this crimson skull with these weird eyes, which goes with some of the other stuff that they do for their own IP with the Gomez universe. I really don't have any interest in the skull. It's cool, but I bought that literally because I wanted the masked dude for the Crimson Clan Ninja.
Right.
But yeah, that's it. I mean, I feel like saying that's it is an understatement. It was a lot to unpack, and
it doesn't feel like a lot.
It doesn't feel a lot until I look at my bank account. And my bank account's like, well, I'm glad you did grocery shopping already. Otherwise, you'd be eating rice and corn for the next 2 weeks.
What?
They're cheap.
I get it, but
like minute rice and then like frozen corn.
That sounds like a weird meal.
Well, I mean, it was putting it together. I mean, I guess you could because you can make fried rice, but I meant like they were it was to mix it up so you didn't have to eat the same thing every night.
That's fair. We're having corn tonight.
Fucking weirdo do you think I am? Being like, I'm gonna have white rice with corn.
I don't know. That could be the dish of the show. White rice
and corn. That sounds like a spin-off show waiting to happen. Or a Dr. Seuss book. I don't know. But that's it for weekly purchases. Let's remind you, as always, about our giveaway. Once we hit 350 YouTube subscribers, which we are slowly inching there, we are at 134 now. We've gained about like 15 in the past week or two, so we're gaining some steam, guys. Let's keep it going. We are going to be giving away a first place prize of the NECA Ultimate Metalhead. Yes, I get it. It's old news, but it's free, so want it anyway. And a second place prize of the extra large NECA Musical Mutagen Tour merch box bundle, which includes the extra large t-shirt, tote bag, souvenir ticket, backstage pass, and 4 guitar picks. All you have to do, subscribe to the channel and share or retweet the post for the giveaway on Instagram or Twitter with the hashtag ModernToyfare100. You have to share this to your feed. You cannot do a fleet or whatever it's called, and you can't post it to your story because both of those go away. And I'm not screenshotting 1,000 of these while I wait for people. Well, I guess it wouldn't be 1,000 because we're only going to 350. But I'm not going to screenshot like 100 of these while I wait for us to hit 350. So if you do that, it's gone forever. I can't find it. So post it to your feed. Twitter is the easiest option because it's literally our pinned tweet, and it's been that way for months. You just have to go to our thing and hit retweet, type Modern Toyfare 100, and boom. Once you've subscribed to the channel, you're done. You've done your part. You're entered. And as always, I don't even care about legitimate numbers. You can have your grandma's iPad and make like 1,000 accounts and just keep subscribing from all of them, and I'll still give away the stuff. As long as Google doesn't go in and realize that there's no activity on those accounts and unsubscribe them, I don't care. Dog eat dog world, man. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Her email's gonna be all messed up.
Yeah, she's gonna be like, why do I have a bunch of these emails and why do them all have 69 in them? And why are the only emails I'm getting are notifications from this guy who talks about toys with this black man on the internet?
Whoa, I assume grandma doesn't. She could have just said handsome guy.
Let's be honest.
He said grandma.
It's grandma.
It's fair. It's fair.
What I said was very, very tame compared to what most grandmas would probably say.
Oh God, it's grandpa, it's not grandma. No. This is being derailed, but in all seriousness though, we gotta get to the goal here, just so Mike doesn't have to read this off anymore.
Oh my God, yeah.
You don't understand how much this hurts him.
It does. So, it kills me because I was so proud of myself. I'm like, I'm gonna make someone's day by giving away this super cool figure that people complained they couldn't find. And then no one gave a shit until it was released so much that it's worthless now. So, like, come on, guys. There's no way that there's not one of you out there who's like, I still need Metalhead. Or who wants a second one to either, like, doctor up and make, like, a battle damage version or use as trade bait. Because, yeah, he's not worth, like, $100 anymore. But you could probably still get, like, some of the older stuff. Because that's how NECA Turtles go. They shoot up in price day one. And then after they release everywhere, they right back down to, like, maybe $10-15 above retail, so you could probably easily trade this for other stuff.
Sit on it for some more years, and there you go.
I don't know, because even series or wave 1 for the 2-packs isn't worth much these days.
Well, I was talking like 10 years. So.
Oh, you're talking about like by the time NECA loses the license.
Yeah, like Mirage Turtle level, like years and years ago.
Okay. So yeah, if you're like Jamar and you want an investment to sit in your closet and then you have to reread this giveaway post every week, then go that route too. But yeah, like realistically, just trying to do something nice, trying to brighten someone's day, guys. And I'm not asking for 1,000. I'm asking for 350. And guess what? I know there's at least like another 216 of you out there, because 90% of you who watch the show aren't subscribed, which is really impressive considering I have 134 followers and this show doesn't even hit that high. So I know you're there, and I know you're watching, and I know you like free shit. Like, I'm not even going to charge you for shipping. It's unless you're like in another country, then I'll have to work something out with you. But like, if you're in the States, I'll pay the $7. I don't care. Like, come on, guys.
That. Great guy.
So but yeah, so enter our contest. Again, retweet or share the post with Modern Toyfare 100 as the hashtag, and subscribe to the channel. But before we close out the show, next week we will not have a Modern Toyfare news due to the holidays.
No.
But we will return with our Festivus 2020 countdown, where Nate will be joining us to count down our personal top 10 figures of 2020, and that will take place the week after Christmas. So don't worry, we will be back, and we'll be having a third, and we'll be talking about all the different toys that came out this year that we think are the best. And on top of that, you will still have Modern Toyfare review content next week. I will make sure to have Monday's episode, and I might do a mini episode. I've had some people ask about how I did the wrappings on my movie Turtles and my Super 7 Raphael. So I might do a mini episode and release that on Friday instead. So you still have something if you're someone who really looks forward to us.
I'll be looking forward to that.
I know you will. But regardless, Jamar and myself here at Modern Toyfare, we would like to wish you a happy and safe holiday, no matter what it is. Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. I think Hanukkah's over at this rate, but I don't know. Festivus, Life Day, literally whatever you celebrate. I hope you have a great holiday and you're safe and don't get or give everyone a pandemic level disease that we can't talk about because YouTube will shut us down. But yeah, so just wanted to put that out there before
Spread
we close
love,
everything.
not sickness. That's what you should
Exactly. Spread love, not sickness. I like that. But that is it for this week's Modern Toyfare news. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Jamar, tell all of our lovely fans why they should go and listen to Why Are You a Gamer?
Let's move this beautiful. Let me show off this beautiful shirt right here. Why are
You
you?
moved your mic away.
I know. I thought about that afterwards. I always wanted to show off how great this shirt is. Thank you, Mike. But yeah. So why are you a gamer? Like I said, it's gonna be coming back pretty soon here. So if you want to get caught up with all the previous episodes and all the amazing guests that I've had over the past year, definitely go and check that out. It's just Why Are You a Gamer? You can search it on podcast platform of any choice, and of course follow me at Jamar_games. That's it.
Awesome. So go make sure to check that out. I think episode 3 was me. Obviously, it's the best episode. So if you want to hear some familiar voices before you jump into the deep end of Jamar's Why Are You a Gamer podcast, that's the way to start. If you, for whatever reason, are going to miss my lovely voice, you can catch me over at the Gimmick Minute Wrestling Podcast. I believe this week or next week we have our final episode of the year before we take a little bit of a break leading up to the Royal Rumble. So go check that out while me, Jason, and Kevin just kind of shoot the shit about what's going on in wrestling and the Wednesday Night Wars. If you want to support my channel, though, you can go to the link below for tpublic.com, where I sell shirts with our logos on it, along with other designs I've cooked up in the good old Photoshop. As always, please like and subscribe, and comment if there's a new story that you're excited about, or if we got something wrong. I know last week we had someone who explained the Geiger alien to us, and I was super surprised and happy because I didn't know what that was, and apparently it's the artist who did the concept art for that alien, so that was really cool to find out. So I love that kind of shit. Literally, I sit around all day and play with toys and play on the internet. So if you want to comment and communicate, go for it. I will respond. It may not be like within seconds, but I will respond within a day. So go do that. And if you want to stay up to date, make sure to hit the little bell to get notifications when our videos go up. We do have Modern Toy Fair news that goes up every Friday, and Modern Toy Fair reviews, which goes up on Mondays. If you don't enjoy staring at our wonderful faces and think we are hideous monsters and abominations that should just live in a hole somewhere, you can listen to the audio-only version of Modern Toy Fair news on all major podcast apps, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Spotify, and other podcast apps you know and love. So check that out, and we will see you next week. Same toy time, same Toy Fair channel. Thank you for watching.
Bye.